What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about one of the fastest external SSD, why I need it and why you might need it too. Or not, stay tuned. Okay, so I have just realized that there are different type of SSD that has different kind of speed. When I purchased this 2019 iMac with Fusion drive, I knew that I was gonna need a fast SSD and boot the OS from there. If you haven't watched my iMac video, you can watch it now. I'll put a link in the description below. Before I made a decision on which SSD that I was gonna buy, I searched a lot. There are so many options out there and it's really confusing which one I need. Then I came across G Drive Mobile Pro SSD by Western Digital and Samsung X5 Portable SSD. Both of them are super fast. Both of them are rated up to 2800 megabytes per second read and both are using Thunderbolt 3. Eventually, I purchased the Samsung X5. The reason is these two SSD are incredibly difficult to find at Indonesian local store. Even if they have, it is super expensive. Then I found a local store that sells Samsung X5 at a reasonable price, so I decided to give it a try. This is Samsung X5. The design is really sleek. It was inspired by supercar set by Samsung. But this is not the smallest SSD though. If compared with my SanDisk external SSD, as you can see, it is much bigger on the Samsung X5, but it is also much faster. We will talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about the specs of this Samsung X5 and what's included in the box. This SSD is able to reach up to 2800 megabytes per second read and 2300 megabytes per second write, so it is really fast. But actually I never get up to that speed. This SSD also comes with an encryption software. It also has a 3-year warranty. Please keep in mind that this SSD uses the Thunderbolt 3 ports. It is not backward compatible with USB 3, so if you plug this SSD into your USB 3 ports, it won't show up on your computer, so make sure your computer has Thunderbolt 3 ports. Well, how do you know? You just need to find this icon beside your USB Type-C ports. If you see this Thunderbolt icon, then you are good to go. In the box, you have this SSD, Thunderbolt 3 cable, and some manual book. That's it. But how much is this thing cost? Mine is 500 gigabytes and it costs around $300 USD. This SanDisk is 1 terabyte and it costs around 160 USD. It almost costs twice as much and less storage. So is it really worth it? If you're like me that was just upgrade from MacBook to the best model iMac with Fusion Drive, you would definitely need this, because Fusion Drive in 2020 is a disaster. Although the built-in SSD on this iMac is faster than my MacBook Pro, it is only 24 gigabytes. That won't be enough for video editing. And why didn't I just put the OS in this SanDisk SSD? Well, that's because this SanDisk is actually slower than my MacBook Pro SSD. That is why I think this Samsung S5 is the best option here. There are some cases that you might don't need this expensive drive though. If you have an old iMac or laptop, they might come with a hard drive. Even this iMac still uses a 5400 RPM drive. It is a super slow drive. In this case, you might just want to get a cheaper SSD like this one to save some money and you will feel the performance impact immediately. Or if you have a modern laptop with fast SSD built-in, but it is running out of space, you don't need to buy this expensive drive just for backup. This SanDisk SSD is going to do the job just fine. In fact, you can even move your big files or projects into this SSD and edit it from there. The performance is still great if you have a fast built-in SSD. You can also build a fast external SSD for a lower cost. You just need to buy an internal SSD and a Thunderbolt 3 enclosure. But still, Thunderbolt 3 enclosure is still very difficult to find in Indonesia's online store. Before I end this video, I want to show you some performance comparison between the SanDisk SSD and Samsung X5. Then maybe you can decide if Samsung S5 is worth the price and suit your needs. Here we go. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you use both of these SSD? Share your experience in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with your friends. And I'll see you in my next video. Peace.